Now that you understand how economists evaluate costs, you're ready to see what economics has to say about another important question. How do people make decisions? For instance, going back to your 2 assignments, how many problems in each course, economics or geography, should you solve? An economist would answer rather simply that you should answer whatever number of problems brings you the most benefit. This seemingly easy principle is actually more difficult than it seems, but it has important implications for the way economists think about how individuals make decisions. Suppose each day you're tempted to sleep in instead of attending your first morning class. Would you do it? That decision depends on how you value the benefit of an extra hour of sleep versus the potential cost of missing another class. But the relevant benefit and cost you want to consider in this situation isn't the average enjoyment you receive from sleeping in or the average consequence of skipping a class, but rather how much enjoyment would you receive from sleeping in one more morning and what the consequences are for skipping one more class. The idea of measuring the additional benefit and cost of sleeping in is important because the enjoyment we receive from sleeping in isn't always the same, nor is the cost of skipping an additional class. It's likely that the added enjoyment you receive from sleeping in more and more will fall, while the cost of skipping each additional class will rise as you risk failing the class. Therefore, you might choose to skip 1 or 2 classes, perhaps more, or perhaps none at all, depending on whether or not the additional benefit of sleeping in an additional day exceeds your additional cost of missing another class. This way of thinking is how individuals optimize their well-being when confronted with decisions that involve benefits and costs. And firms make decisions in a very similar way. In deciding how many workers to hire, the owner of a restaurant compares the costs and benefits of hiring 1 additional worker, not the costs and benefits of hiring 20 additional workers. Economists use the term marginal to refer to 1 additional. Using this economics terminology, we can summarize our principle in the following way. Rational people take an action if and only if the marginal benefits outweigh the marginal costs of that action.